could die for you. You know sometimes I almost do. Now I've been spending all this time with you, and I could waste my life with you. But we are both young, we are not done. We got time to be someone, but we lie low, cause we don't know which way to go. No, we are not old, we are not broke. We got dreams and we got hopes, but I don't know. All I know is that right now I'll be vibing with you like we got nothing to do. We party up on the roof, forever young, all summer. I keep falling for you, cause that's what young people do. We just don't have a clue. We could be lost, that's all I know. Just a game, and I could throw it all away. Right now I'm having so much fun with you, and I can think of nothing better to do. But we are both young, we are not done. We got time to be someone, but we lie low, cause we don't know which way to go. No, we are not old, we are not broke. We got dreams and we got hopes, but I don't know. All I know is that right now I'll be vibing with you like we got nothing to do. We party up on the roof, forever young, all summer. I keep falling for you, cause that's what young people do. We just don't have a clue. We could be lost, that's all I know.
Good evening, good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are in the world. Happy Tuesday. It's another brand new week, and here we are in Brazil. We are in the homeland area of the Flying Fabio. Thought I'd check out this neck of the woods, and so far the weather seems to be clearing, so we might stick with live weather. In sim time is roughly 6:30 in the morning. We're gonna fly into Sao Paulo. We're going to fly down, check out the Interlagos Speedway, Raceway, road course track, the big F1 circuit that they have down in Sao Paulo. From there, we'll go down to the coast. We'll make a landing there. Then we'll follow the coast and go a little further to the southwest for our final stop. So we looking forward to that. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying hydrated, which I forgot to refill my water bottle. Whoops. That'll be something I will just before we take off. So go start saying hello to the chat hitch. Oh, speaking of ailerons, yo. So, going to the chat, we have Allison Johnson. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling well. Enjoying the Stearman so far, but just a little bit of a learning curve. That's absolutely true. We have Streamlabs. That's awesome. Wayland's here. Good to see you. Night Zepp's here. Good to see you as well. Two-Tone Murphy. Always a pleasure, my friend. Noel's here. Good evening to you. Goblin's here. Good to see you. Viper Strike will join us shortly. Kozaki Flyer is in. Good to see you. 6 Knots is here. Good to have you along, my friend. I'm almost tempted to switch to the Waco. I can only imagine that the Stearman's easier anyway. It's a longer fuselage and it has a bit less horsepower than the Waco. But I think the Waco is still a fantastic little airplane. Scorpio 49 is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Roger RC is here. Hello to you as well. Ailerons Into the Wind is in. Good evening. It's nice and cozy there, Ailerons. It's a very nice shirt. Stearman's everywhere. Blackheart 46 right. Good to see you. Hope you're well. So yeah, we're not in the Stearman though. We are in the Bird Dog. Because, well, I like the Bird Dog. I think it's a fantastic little airplane. And it's phenomenal for sightseeing. Shuffle Shoes is in. Good to see you. That now politically incorrect shouldn't be a steer person. Once you get Murph started on that, he won't stop. But man, it's pretty at this time of day. So we're gonna get right into it here with, okay, make sure our controls are hitting the right things and doing the right things. We're gonna set the altimeter. Battery, alternator battery. Beacon turns on. Red light. And magnetos to both. And start. Have a good start. I don't know. I didn't make delivery. Chill Corky's just loading in. Roger that. Good to have you along. Okay, so that's not the instrument lights. That's the fuel pump. So we want Instrument lights, they're coming on. You can probably get this because it's going to get brighter, so we're going to turn that guy on instead. We're going to tune to standard Unicom. $7,000. She could be. We'll open the window just for visibility's sake. So if you'll excuse me a moment, I need to refill my water, and I want to do that before we get started, because I'll start talking, then my throat will dry out, and it just won't be good. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back and I have water now. So, trying to look for a bit of a windsock. That's the word I was looking for. Figure out which way the wind is going, but that doesn't seem to want to tell me. So we'll improvise. Abnormal 34 with the SIP reading. Alright. Parking brakes coming off. Most everybody's done at that end, so might as well go that way, huh? Go ahead and turn that on. That nav lights. There's Commandant Muttley there. Ava Gardner. Alright, so we're lined up. We're going to slowly advance the throttle. Give her one notch of flaps, just for posterity. And we got the tails up. And we're up off the ground. I'll make sure that we're clearing the trees before we put the flaps up. Flaps coming up. It is little bumpy because of the weather, but that's what makes it interesting. So many steermans. It's like there's a steerman convention or something. Huge sale on steermans. Steermans, steermans, steermans. And nothing but steermans. All for the low, low price. Financing available. Find a dealership near you. Sounds like the Thunderflies are about to start taking off. Make a turn. And then we'll continue along our magenta line. Oh, that was a lightning strike back there. That's always fun. We'll start juicing the throttle a bit. We don't want to gain a whole ton of altitude. We want to be able to see and enjoy the ground and the scenery that we're flying over. Here go the Thunderflies doing their thing. We got Blackheart 46 right. Druid Zeus, Alley Cats. Scorpio's back there. I see Murphy back there. Kozaki's probably back there too. So we're indicating just about 105 miles an hour. How's our climb? We don't want to climb. There's Kozaki. Wayland's there. Let's see if we can pull up a map over on here. Look at the way the sun works with the clouds. I'm not in the Stearman. I'm in the L19. Instead, de Havilland 2C comes out. I'm happy with my flow type. Roger that. There's Steve Solo. Thunderflies doing their thing. That's a DA-40. Oh. It's a it should be the PT-17. I can see a little better now. Why, thanks, Brazen. Hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, there's Roger RC's there, more hamsters there. See Allie in there. Oh yeah, that's the DA-40, alright. There's Count Zepp, Kozaki. I'm way off course. There's Chill Corky. Working electric, right? Roger that. Papa Joe B down there. So this area is really in between. It's like a slot. If you look at the map, the charts, it's just in this slot of mountain. It's kind of neat. In real life, yes, I'm staying cool. We're currently flying over Brazil, though, which I can only imagine is toasty. Turn to the right, left a little bit. Well, that's not too bad. When do I think the Xbox version will release? So far, their estimates have said 2021. It used to be summer 21. I couldn't honestly say. I'm not a beta tester. I'm not an insider, so I couldn't honestly tell you. I couldn't even get an estimate. I hear they're making headway, though, but that's about it. Are you looking forward to the Battlefield announcement tomorrow? I'm interested to hear what it says, but I'm not going to give up any kind of hope about it. Trying to keep this reined into 100 knots. Nice. Looks like we've got Hammy and Murphy down there formation flying. It's quite the beautiful area, even with the stormage. It's nice to be able to, because just look at the way the clouds are doing their thing. Yeah, I haven't given the Stearman a go as of yet. There you go. So we're not quite to Sao Paulo yet. It's just ahead of us, though. So I think we're just over getting close to a military airfield. I think. I don't even want a base de aviaco de something. I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to butcher it, especially if Fabio's watching. How's our situation? We need to not climb anymore. Look at that. Look at the way the light's hitting the hills now. Gotta keep an eye on our fuel tanks. Make sure they stay balanced. Putting along, enjoying so. No worries there, Allie. Yeah, you seem to be going a little faster than me, so you're going along pretty well. Did you know that Volkswagen do Brazil or less? Yes. Yep, the Volkswagen Beetle is a very, very popular vehicle down in South and Central America, and as you said, was produced long after it was, long after it stopped production in Europe and North America. Does VOR not work in... It should. It's a little goofy, especially if you have a third-party livery. Let's see. I need to find... Let's see. 115.4. Hey, Seamus, how you doing? I can't complain about my day thus far. Okay, so we're about 26-ish. So it should, the VOR should work just fine. The NDB or the ADF, that's a little screwy. So that doesn't quite work the way it should. 410. 10. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 410. 4 So if I tune into this, and it probably won't pick that up for a while. So yeah, the VOR and the NDB do work. The ADF, I should say. The ADF's just goofy. It could use a little work. Checking our fuel. Should be on the aux tank. We are on the aux tank. Oh, that's loud. Hello, Steerman. Hi, Hammy. That's a nice sounding engine you got there. You ain't got no pilots, Hammy. Your pilots are missing. Ghost plane. It's a ghost plane. Spooky. Hello. We don't want you here. We want to fly alone. When I fly alone, I prefer to fly by myself. So yeah, well, it's interesting that I can't hear you at all. I think it's just because of the sound set of the L19. I don't know. But boy, can I hear it from the outside. Whee! Well, it doesn't look like they adjusted the roll rate any, because that just still seems a bit too easy. I believe we are currently over San Jose. Which means there should be a military airfield somewhere to just the south of us, right there, even. I wonder if the steering is much more stable than the Waco. I would imagine so, just because it has a longer wingspan, it has a longer fuselage, therefore making it a little better on ground, and a bit less horsepower. So I would imagine that it's a bit more stable in an overall general sense than the Waco is. Not saying that the Waco is unstable. It is harder to handle. So I have to wonder if Hammy and Murph are both actually in the red scheme, or if they're in a different one. But either way, they have no pilots, and that concerns me. I kind of figured. There's the Thunderflies. Nicely done. Oh dear. And that is a flying circus. Yeah, that just still seems way too roll happy. Like, I'd expect that kind of maneuvering to, you know, in like a Mustang or a V40, but it just seems, and it could just be me, but it definitely seems the roll rate's a bit too fast. It's a good way to get a passenger out of the passenger seat. Just kind of roll it quickly. Whee! Look at him go. I just keep hearing the theme to Salvage in my head, hearing the steerman. Nice. That's true, Zep, but it doesn't necessarily mean... I'm not talking about it being able to do aileron rolls like it is. It's the speed and ease of it that's the issue. Just because it can do aerobatics doesn't mean it does it quickly. Now, you got to think that it has two wings plus cables that A, cause a lot of drag, and B, is a lot of extra weight. An extra 300 or was it the Yak 52, you know, or something along those lines. Even the pits, they're designed to have a fast roll rate. The pits, even being a biplane, has a much shorter wingspan than the Stearman does. It probably has, I would venture to guess, the pits has probably half the wingspan that the Stearman does. So you think the wind, or when an airplane's doing a roll, well, that's a big flat surface that's going to cause drag when you're going around. So Stearman has a lot more surface area and thusly more drag, which is why I'm saying that the roll rate seems a bit too fast. Yeah. Like, the Stearman should be able to do maneuvers like that fine, but I've never seen a Stearman do an aileron roll like an extra 300 can. Don't get me wrong, I love the Stearman. It looks great. They need to make sure that the multiplayer pilots are visible, because otherwise it's just a little creepy. And I think without having flown it myself, it seems that the main issue is the roll rate seems too high. Allegedly. I'll use all those words to cover my butt. We got a formation of 3 warbirds. 2 warbirds. Don't get me wrong, everything else seems, without having flown it at all yet, everything about it looks phenomenal. It's just my only The only 2 issues I've seen so far are those. Other than that, it looks great, sounds great. Can't wait to try it. Pardon me, try it out for myself. Where are we going, by the way? Our first stop is in the northwestern part of Sao Paulo at Sierra Bravo Mike Tango. Murphys is trying to show us, and that's why you don't see him. Campo de Marta. I guess it's in just north central Sao Paulo. Sounds good. We're at the right angle that they kind of look like they're wing walking. Not that I'd want to wing walk on an L19. Check my fuel. And that's under 10 by a notch. So we need to switch to the main tank. And now we sit and hope that we have enough fuel. We should. Anyone know the box label, what the right serious copy? That's a good question. Oh, that's a good sound. The flyby sound. The nice Doppler effect. That's awesome. So we're definitely indicating away from that VOR, so we want to go aim towards 116.9. Hit about 262. Which is the other way. Actually, we really don't. We want to stay north. of it. So we'll just head 270 and hold course. Still gaining a little too much altitude. First, ours is just behind it. Yeah, there'll be the SBGR. We'll fly past it, and then it'll be a smaller airfield, actually in the city. And what we'll do is we'll do the low pass, look for the wind. Actually, it might actually have an ATIS. Yeah, 127.72. Let's see. 7.
Large airport information, Charlie 1000 Zulu. Line 231 at 12. Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds.
I don't believe the cloud reporting to save my life.
12,300 feet. Temperature 21. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.06.
3006.
Zero in use. Landing and departing runway tree 0. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Charlie. Campinas Airport information Charlie 1000 Zulu. Wind 191 at 12. Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,200 feet, few clouds at 12,300 feet. Temperature 19. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.09. ILS Victor runway 15 in use. Landing and departing runway 15. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Charlie.
So for the
Large
winds.
airport information Delta 1000 Zulu. Wind 191 at 12.
191.
Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,200 feet, few clouds at 12,300 feet.
So we're gonna want runway 12, which means we'll fly over, turn around, and land.
Visual runway 12 in use. Landing and
Yep,
departing
we'll land on runway 12.
VFR aircraft say direction of flight.
Stop doing that. Go. Back to Unicom. So yeah, we'll fly over the airport, land on runway 12. Look at that. Look at that. Definitely not the most ideal weather conditions to be flying in, but that's why we do it in the sim. Check fuel. It's just that's below. We still have a ways to go on that tank. That looks good on my or in this screen. Yeah. Just about over Sao Paulo now. I think. Oh yeah. Just on the edge of it. There's Wayland off in the distance. Not be a VOR, that's probably tacky. So we should be reporting something on the... Oh yeah. It's trying to do something. So the ADF is trying to do something. Now, fun fact about the updated version of the L19. When you have a when you have the ADF tune, this will actually turn to intercept it, because that's an antenna. But it'll rotate and turn in the direction of the signal. So you can see it kind of moving. It's a little glitchy. So there's the airport that we're going to not land at. We'll fly past this one. That engine just sounds good. I'm just steering them. Thunder flies over Sao Paulo. They never saw it coming. You'll never see me coming. Does anybody remember Iron Man 3? It's probably the weakest of the Iron Man movies, but had some good moments and some good quotes. Look at him go. Captain Butters along. Look at the clouds. Yes, it's so good. There's the airport we're not landing at. It's fair. Wow. So, seeing this means that we're not that far away from our actual destination. This is, oh gosh, Governor Andre F. Montoro. Airport. Look at the scenery though. Now, the last time I think the Fireflies were in Brazil at all, it was on Rio de Janeiro with Murph. And it was about a 6-part series from one night. A lot of fun, but now we get to see the capital of Brazil, Sao Paulo. Why, thanks, Waylon. It's from the Vintage Livery Pack, available on flightsim.to. There's a direct link to it. And it does have vintage liveries for the standard L19, the Tundra tire L19, as well as the float plane L19. Which it's nice to have extra liveries for the float plane and the Tundra version, because those two versions don't really have a lot in the way of liveries, which is unfortunate. Thunderflies. Nice over there. So Count Zepp has beat us to our first stop of the evening. Well, it's still waiting on a sail for it. Roger. Now, one of the nice things about the L19 and the fact that Coronado's actually announced that they will be releasing their 170B soon is they're basically the same plane for the most part. There were some heavy modifications done to the think it's the Cessna 305 platform, which is basically the Cessna 170. To make it into the L-19, but at its base level, they're essentially the same aircraft. The main modifications between the 170B and the L-19 are obviously a taller. There are a lot more windows. There's a rear window, and it's only 2-place tandem as opposed to 4-place side by side. So 2 in the front, 2 in the back. But the tail style is the same. The engine was, the basic airframe was really similar between the 170 and the L-19. So Carenado should be having their 170B out soon. They've been teasing it on Facebook, and it's a classic Cessna, so I'm obviously very excited for it. Draco's in. Good to see it. And here's Sao Paulo. There's our airfield. We'll start making our downwind approach for it. Have our feet on the pedals. And to start descending. Weather has cleared up from what it was last night, and well, it's also the capital, Viper. Oh no! No, well, with the CTD in the circuit, that's not good. Yeah, so we're under 100 miles an hour, so we can start lowering the flaps. We're going to use power, because we need to descend by quite a bit. There we see field. It does have a displaced threshold, so that early bit right here we cannot land on. We have to wait until we get to there. Going about 1,000 feet a minute descent. Start turning on base. Windows updates. I did not check those today, so we'll see how that goes. But don't worry, Draco, this is only the first stop. We have 2 more legs. So it's still plenty of opportunity to check out Brazil. One more nacho. Uh, 20H2. Oh boy, those cumulative updates, those what worry me the most. Okay, so we're still way high. As it seems that Warhamster and Murph didn't want to wait for me to record the landings, but that's okay. still way high on the flight, the glide path, glide slope. Whoa, that's why you don't want to bump the trim wheel. I need to find a new home for that trim wheel assignment because it was going to be a great landing if it wasn't for the stupid trim wheel location. No. Get that flight logged before Flight Sim crashes out on me. Yeah, they kind of plowed through me first. We got Allie in. Hang on to her. And I don't have all the extra controls. You have a good one, Wayland? Glad to have you along. Yeah, it was going to be a fine landing until the stupid trim wheel. It's too easy to bump it. Here's Chill Corky. There's Hammy. Got Butters. Scorpio. There's Druid and another L19. Blackheart and Murph. I think the Thunderflies are coming in next. Just a guess. Oh, roger that. And there's the Thunderflies. See if we've got any more folks coming in. Doesn't look like it. Alright. Looks like the clouds are going to get lower the closer we get to the coast, but that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and switch to this screen. Gonna reset the sim and load in the next part of the flight. I gotta see if I have a couple of ice cubes because my water is warm and warm water is not fun to drink. But I'll be right back. Well, that's unfortunate, Allie. It's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily bother with parking on group flights, other than getting off the runway and stopping. I want to be able to log the flight and as soon as possible because I just anticipate them. Gives it less chance to be like, haha, no. The upside is, you were on the ground. Sure, it didn't log all the hours. But it beats flying 8 hours and, you know, get a CTD on final. Silver lining? Maybe? Roger that. I'm just waiting on my sim to finish reloading. It does appear that Pilot Edge is doing another Oshkosh fly-in thing, virtual Oshkosh thingamajob. I'd like to see something that's not on Pilot Edge, something that's a bit more accessible and less, what's the word, strict. Something a little bit more fun, less strict. So I would be happy with either something that would be on VATSIM, or even better yet, something more on like JoinFS with some easy going ATC. I think we just need to do a community Oshkosh fly-in ourselves. In between here, myself, Murph, and Fabio. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun. And again, I thought iRacing on the stream would be fun, and that's not going as well as I'd hoped. Let's see, we want there. So is there 6:30 plus about 50 minutes? Will be there 7:30? Oh, live weather, yeah, traffic off. Like, I get the appeal for a lot of folks on Pilot Edge, but why would I spend money just to get told off when I make a small mistake? Joey Bolo is in the house. If I can, put out words through my mouth. How you doing, dude? Sorry, I did not reply to you in Fabio's chat earlier today. I got distracted and typing something else. So I apologize and hello. Very fun. Coordinating the microphone hookups for ATC might be an issue for some fun. That's fair, but I mean, even if we didn't have ATC, just having a flying where, oh, you dirty rotten no good flight sim thing. Even if we didn't have ATC, a group flying to Oshkosh would still be fun, in my view. Like the ATC part of it's really, it'd be cool, but definitely not something that I would, feel it wouldn't make or break it, in my opinion. No idea where that's gonna be, so let's see, where is one? Not 2, what about ramp 2? There we go. That I like a little better. There's a pilot visible from the exterior steering, but I wonder if it's not visible in multiplayer. So it could just be an LOD number setting. Or if they just forgot something. But so far, like I said, I've not flown it yet, so I can't speak on how it flies, but it seems that the roll rate's a bit too fast. Even Hammy has said that it needs to be about 2/3, it should be about 2/3 of what it is. And so far you can't hear, or you can't see the pilots in multiplayer. Fly that in VR, great choice for scenery, dude. Oh yeah, I can imagine it's just as good, or if not even slightly better than the Waco in VR. We're just about to start that leg, yes. I apologize, I do not speak, I only speak English, but good evening to you, Ached Barley. We are about to take off from SBMT to SDIM. Sure, the same livery. Yeah. So there's 2 or 3 little bugs, but overall, the Stearman looks amazing. Okay, window. We're going to fix this stuff. Well, whilst on the ground. Our center of gravity. It's mixture rich, throttle cracked. Me too. Very bad Portuguese. No worries. CO red and white steering is very interesting. Let's see. So battery, alternator, beacon, magnetos, and the starter. What am I missing? Let's see, what's our altitude? So maybe not full rich then. Just for kicks and giggles. Let's see, I have a co-pilot visible in front. Just found out. Oh, nice. Be touring Louisville for leg 5. Nice. Have to check that out. Okay, so that's there. So we want to tune to Unicom. We'll go with 122.9. Squawk 7,000. Let's see, we want 525. And then 116.7. Alright. Instrument lights on just so you can see them. Parking brake released. We need to go back taxi light on, nav lights on for visibility. And we'll make our way back to hey, that tastes a lot better. Cold.
Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
It's one of the great things about taxiing airplanes when you have rudder pedals is you can do other stuff with your hands. Like refill your water bottle, add a little bit more Mio to it. Shake it up. Okay, so need to make a left turn here. Go ahead and just switch these on. You don't necessarily need the full length, but a little bit. So, thanks for everybody patiently waiting. Well, now I'm seeing a different livery for the Stearman. The classic blue and yellow. Very nice. Yeah, I'm sure they'll look into it. I think that's an initial error that a lot of add-on aircraft have. Is just at some point in time, the liveries don't match up. Okay, stick back, a little bit on the brakes, slow her down a little bit. Got ourselves a spit with us now. There's a Seminole. Alright. And with that happy little bit of news, begin our next leg of the journey. And we're off. No flaps needed. So we fly over the city a little bit as the Fireflies are getting airborne. Thunderflies being left to form up and launch. So what do you think, Murph? Yay or nay on the Stearman? I guess it's a yay, nay, or wait. Seems most everybody's up, so we're going to start heading towards on course. We'll fly over the downtown, or what seems to be the downtown. Roger that, Murph. Good to hear. So we're definitely getting more and more aircraft for a vintage aircraft night that I have to arrange. Where the requirement will be an air that you need to fly an airplane that is manufactured before a certain year and nothing modern. I just had to figure out the year. For my literal money, it's a no-brainer. There you go. Hammy tested, Hammy approved. Nine out of 10 hammies recommend. The 10th hammy we had to stuff into a bin. I want a C-47, dagnabbit. Like, the DC-6, it's a very cool airplane. I like the C-54 more, which is a DC-4, just because it's a bit more traditional as far as a radial engine, and they still use them in World War II. But the DC-3, it's the DC-3. Come on. That's what we really need. The Clipper would be really cool because A, Flight Sim needs more seaplanes. B, it's the Boeing Clipper. It's very iconic. Just waiting for somebody to try to put in the Spruce Goose and give it accurate flight dynamics so where it just kind of hovers above the ground. C-46 Commando just never did it for me. It didn't have the same look. It's kind of like the B-26 Marauder. It was a flying cigar. The A-26 Invader, so much better design. Actually, I think they produced more B-26 Marauders than they did A-26 Invaders, but the A-26 Invader was a superior aircraft. Rolls like it has 4 ailerons, like the Stearman, not the DC-6. I'd be a little worried if the DC-6 rolled as quickly as that. That would be very concerning on a number of levels. I'd be like, hold up, wait a minute. A fully aerobatic passenger liner. That doesn't seem right. The Ju-52 would be nice. A Ford Tribe motor would be amazing. And no, I didn't move the trim well. I'll do that after the stream. So, lovely Sao Paulo. As the closer we get to the coast, the more clouds there are. So our first waypoint on this leg of the trip is to flying over the Interlagos racecourse here in Sao Paulo. I've turned some laps around it in iRacing, and it's a very interesting track. And I like interesting tracks. It goes in a counterclockwise direction, which is abnormal from my experience for road courses. Most road courses I'm accustomed to go in a counterclockwise direction, or in a clockwise direction, where Interlagos goes in a counterclockwise direction. So turn one's a heck of a surprise, especially considering that the front straight isn't straight and it goes kind of uphill. But it's a fun. Initial thoughts are it's a very fun course. It's going to be a challenge to learn, but I look forward to learning it. It really looks like it. I'm excited. I've been kind of planning this flight for a while, and then life kind of happened, and finally decided, it's time that we did it. So we're doing it. I'm on flight sim. Got it. I wasn't trying to initialize VR, you dingus. That was weird. So we're getting close to Interlagos, and I think I see it. We need to turn to the left and go down. So we're going to lower our altitude. But Interlagos has a lot of nice turns, some sharp turns, some sweeping turns, but it also has a lot of nice elevation changes, and that's something I really enjoy because it's a challenge. I like tracks that are a challenge, but that aren't going to, like I love Nordschleife. The Green Hell, as it's known. It's fun because I don't think I've ever had a perfect lap around there. I don't think anybody can. Very nice. But it's such a challenge of a track that it's just, amazing. Now, Interlagos is no Nordschleife, but it's still a great track, and I look forward to spending more time learning it. I wouldn't mess with the joystick or your controller settings. I think it's just that's something they're going to have to adjust in the flight dynamics. Now, I dream of a day where we can see races at these tracks while flying in flight sim. And I would love to see Just Flight or Asoba working with iRacing to put tracks into flight sim. Kozaki is now in following roads. Why are my flaps down? My flaps shouldn't be down. But there's the first long straight, then you make a left-hander, then another left-hander, and then you got a sweeping right-hander, a sharp right-hander, a nice sweeping left-hander, and I may have caught air coming off this corner because I misjudged it and went whee the first time around the track. Roll is excessive, but she is nice to fly. Nice. But yeah, no, Interlagos, fantastic track. I enjoy it. Turn 1 got me the first time going down it because the front stretch isn't straight, so you're coming uphill in kind of a turn. There's that trim wheel again. So you come down here, front stretch, and you're just going, and then instant sharp left turn downhill. It is a tricky corner until you do it once or twice. Then it's just like, oh, okay, that's not so bad once you know it's there. So that is the Interlagos track. So we're going to increase power. We're going to try to get up in above some of this cloud layer. I don't want to climb too quickly. Look at this. This is definitely weather you shouldn't be flying VFR in, but man, is it pretty. See, and it's nice not having to worry about icing now because they're supposedly going to fix it or have fixed it where it's not so excessive. Plus, we're in the warmer months, so flies. Look at those clouds. I was thinking I could see the spit from the cockpit, and I can't. So I think that's Captain Butters in the Kit Fox. It's a airplane don't see often blown in flight sim. It's been messing around with the what's the word? GNS 750, getting it to work. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see, 116.7. 122. No. the terrain. There's thunderflies. Just trying to get... There we go. Trying to find that VOR, the Sao Bernardo Rede VOR, just to kind of get an idea of where we are. So we're about over the ridge line that it sits on. Look at just the... See, this is what blows my mind with the sim. It's just the way the lighting is, and the clouds, and they work with the ground, and the airplanes. It's just nuts. Ooh, excuse me. And you see the trees down there. The clouds are in the trees being fogged. We're a little off course, so we gotta maneuver to the left a bit. Okay, I don't think that has any kind of weather observation. Nope. So we're just gonna have to hope. You know, you can shame me into, using not live weather all you want. It's not going to work. The area is beautiful, but so is the weather. I'll never hold anybody to fly real weather, but I like seeing what it does from time to time. That's awesome. Hey, Keen, can't stay for long. Start about. Well, I'm glad you did, Keen. I hope you're doing well. Definitely glad you stopped by there, Keen. Nice. We're at, what's our elevation? We're at 6,000 feet, so we can probably stand a drop now. We're past the ridge line. skimming the clouds. Look at that. Glad you like it, Allison. I may not be the best Brazil tour guide, but I'm glad everybody's enjoyed the route. Allison Johnson being a legend, gifting out 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. Subs going out to SI-120, Test Pilot 72, Papa Joe B, G Slayer, and Roll Wolf Gaming. Many thanks, Allison. You're very generous and truly a legend, and I'm very humbled that you would bestow your generosity upon my little channel. So many thanks to you, and I hope everybody enjoys the emotes that they can now use in the chattage. Speaking of Allison, got a few people that need to shout out, so Allison Johnson is also a streamer in our little community, and she's recreating the flight of Amelia Earhart. She's using the Mooney instead of the Electra because we don't yet have an Electra to use. She's been doing a phenomenal job, as Coffee House is rating with a party of 26. Many thanks, my dude. We're sticking with the light aircraft. We're in Brazil. We just flew past Interlagos Racecourse, and we're flying down to the coast, but we're doing it in live weather, so it's a bit hairy. But Allison Johnson, finish the shout out for Allison. I'll do a shout out for Coffee House. So Allison Johnson doing wonderful things in flight sim, very knowledgeable and very awesome streamer, streams on Saturdays. Coffee House is another great small streamer, the king of the light aircraft, the head of the light sport army, who I believe was flying the Icon A5 in Puerto Rico? Was it? I think it's Puerto Rico, somewhere down south. I spelled that really wrong. I always forget the second E. That should work. Nope, I messed it up again. SOFFEEHAUS underscore HAR. There we go. Dom Reprub to Puerto Rico. Nice. Bet that was scenic as all get out. We need to get below these clouds so we can see our destination here in Brazil. We are in fact in the Black Box Simulations L19 with a vintage livery pack available on flightsim.to. So this is where it gets real interesting because there's a lot of clouds. Kind of turning towards the name tags. Keep an eye on our altitude because it's gonna, I believe the airfield, there goes the thunder flies into the clouds. We don't want to be like Oh, that was a different one. Harry Bliss was all about the density altitude, not the flying into cloudy weather. But we don't want to run into the ground, so we got one eye on the altimeter so we don't, you know, plow ourselves and make ourselves into a crater. We also don't want to overspeed the aircraft. And rip the wings off. Airport elevation is 30 feet. Roger that. So that leaves us plenty of room because we're still over 3,000 feet. And we're keeping an eye on our instruments so that we don't suffer from spatial disorientation. Don't get lost. Yeah, there's 2,000 feet. Still have not seen the edge of the clouds, the bottom of the cloud layer. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, the vintage livery pack is really nice. It's worth downloading, because it gives you liveries for all three models of the L19. So you get the standard version, the Thunder Tire version, Bush version, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, I think I might see the ground, and the float plane. Yeah, so as far as light aircraft, light sporty aircraft, L19's worth it in my book because you get 3 versions of it. It's not maybe as high fidelity on the inside as some third-party aircraft, but I still like it. So we're just going to do a straight in, not try to circle around because I don't see anything. There's the Thunderflies. So I think for the last leg of our little trip, after we reload the sim, the weather's going to change. I like the challenge and all, but this is a little... It did provide a nice challenge, though, and as stated, I like a challenge. There we are. And there's the tail. There's Jepson 2001, the man himself. We're just gonna pull off to the side here. Throttle idle, stick back, lightly putting on the brakes. There we go. Parking brake set. We're going to light and mixture off. Turn off the battery. The flight is logged. We're going to change the old weather. And we're going to record some landings. There's Papa Joe B in the Seminole. Captain Butters inbound. Friend to all, many thanks, my dude, for the follow. Really appreciate it. I appreciate that, Zep. It was, see, the wonderful thing about the L-19, it's very easy to fly, and it's a champ. There is Ached Barley. Roger that, Allison. Glad you could come along. Blackheart's in. Druid Zeus is in the Steerman. Here come the Thunderflies. Nicely done. That's very true, but again, the L-19 is just a champ of a little airplane. There's Viper striking the Cub. There's Jepson in the, I think that's the it's the other Cub. It's not the X Cub, it's not the Savage Cub, it's the other one that I can never remember the name of because I don't think hardly anybody flies it. I know I haven't. Shock Ultra, that's it. There's Draco. Scorpio's in. Coffee House working on the honeydew list. Uh-oh. Jepson, did you have an oopsie? It's okay. I had an oopsie at the last stop, so you're in good company. My oopsie was with the trim knob. And then next thing you know, whee! Nose first. Right in the runway. Hey, there you go. It's a win-win situation. It's a honeydew list, but you like doing the things that are on the honeydew list. That is a win-win in my book. Thunderfly's coming in shortly. As soon as they in, we'll exit out, restart the sim, and get the next leg of the flight done and dusted. There's Draco in. Woo! Tipping over! Tipping over in Tipperary. Although we're not in Tipperary, so that didn't make any sense. Oh well. I still hear them, so they're nearby. And Drago's up again. There they are. Some say they never really land. They just hover very closely over the ground. Awesome, awesome job, everyone. Double check, see if we got any more inbound. It doesn't look like it. So awesome, awesome. Awesome. All right. Yeah. They're top-notch stuff. Victim of IMC, no landing, no worries. I need to unhide me. We're going to go to the chatting screen. And we're going to go ahead and get Flight Sim restarted. They really do. That's the button I was thinking of. My brain went blank for a moment. Does that a lot. So we're going to restart this sim and get going on the last leg of our Brazilian adventure. That sounded weird. Our flight in Brazil. I love seeing screenshots of that I've taken in Flight Sim. I was like, is that a smudge on my monitor or is that the Flight Sim? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Just waiting on the sim to read.
She said I might not love you forever and again, but I'm gonna hold on until heaven. Just a bit
Waiting on the sim to do its thing.
we'll be the same. I know we'll be the same. I know we'll be the same.
So continuing on, just giving shout outs to the community streamers. We have to Tone Murphy, who is awesome. He's Irish and he streams. On Fridays he wears a wig, but we know him as Murphy. As Murphy even. Then we have kind of the inspiration of tonight's trip in the Flying Fabio. A very knowledgeable dude, very good dude, has a very awesome and entertaining way of teaching. I learned more about VOR navigation from him than I have in being around aviation my whole life. So awesome dude, just all around good guy. Check him out, check all of them out, give them all follows, subscribe to them all, do the things because they're awesome. And we've got quite the community of streamers. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that's coming from. I should not be that tired. But just a lot of... The wonderful thing about this community is it's definitely been a fostering place for up-and-coming streaming people. A lot of people that are streaming now were... I don't know if I want to say afraid, but weren't sure about getting into streaming in the first place, but they managed to gain the encouragement that they needed to give it a go and have gotten growth themselves, so that's awesome. If my beard weren't already gray, it would be waiting on this program. Yeah, tell me about it. VOR, yeah. Fabio's just a wealth of information. I swear he's just like memorized the entire books of FARs and procedures and stuff, and he's just like, but he spits it out in such a way that it's entertaining and you learn, it's entertaining and educating, which I like to call edutainment. And he's got it nailed down, because everybody learns a little bit differently. I learn kind of in a visual sense, but also if you make it at least entertaining, that makes it easier for most people to absorb the information. And Fabio does a phenomenal job at that. He's very knowledgeable, but he presents the information in such a fashion that it's easy to understand and it sticks with you, which is just awesome. Flight plan, one last leg. So SDIM. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. So we want parking spot. We're going to change to we'll do this. And let's see, that was only about 8. Okay. There we go. Ryan for the last leg, nice. I need to shave because I look like a hippie. It should be right around just after 8 a.m. Alright. Back here, unmute it. I don't know if it's unmuted or not. Okay, it's unmuted. Alright, so make sure we're on the main tank, check our fuel levels. That tuned in. Battery, alternator, beacon, mags, and starter. There we go. It wanted to start, I just had the mixture all the way back. Makes it a little difficult for it to start. On live weather, yeah, it's, I changed to, what is it, UK typical summer day. Just the live weather was just, for this last leg, decided just to say, we'll do something else. And my chair is wanting to slide backwards. That's awesome. Alright, so landing light, strobe light, nav light. Parking brake comes off. So we're not going to waste any time. Brakes. Yaw and... Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me. And of course we took off with a slight tailwind, but that's okay. We want to keep her low because we want to check out the Thunderflies. Because they're just awesome. Nice. Huzzah! Allison has acquired duvet-age. Make our normal left turn around the field while the Fireflies get up in the air. I need to go with a lighter spring in my joystick. Here's everybody's up and at 'em, so we're gonna make our way down the coast now. Goblin is loading. Roger. You have a good one, Coffee House. Many thanks for the raid, my dude. And you enjoy your dinner and your time with family, and we'll catch you next time. There you go. There's H. Barley. Uh-oh. I don't like the weather when it does stupid things. See the lovely beaches. IK Drones is off in the distance. We'll check our air pressure, or altimeter, I should say, which is adjusting there for the air pressure. It's a widget or something in the taskbar, huh? Need to get the RPMs now. CC, Chilled Corky, Druid Zeus, Papa Joe B, Black Heart 46 right. I don't know why I keep saying 46 right, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Draco RPG, Scorpio, Viper Strike, Ake Barley, Jefferson 2001 Kozaki Flyer, and the Thunderflies. There's just this wad of names. Roger RC's in there, Test Pilot 72, I'd imagine Steve Solo UK is in there. Let's see if that can't zap out that way. Scorpio coming in with the 172. Get to start making a right-hand turn, following the line. Double check our fuel. So we should be burning the main tank, which we are. We're going to wait until it gets a little lower, and then we'll switch over to the aux tank. Now this is one of those airplanes where you have to remember to switch tanks, or you're gonna run out of fuel. And the last thing you want to do is run out of fuel. Happened to my dad once, and it didn't go well. He's still here, but got a little bit of extra hardware in him. Need at least 4,500 feet up ahead. We'll see about that. There's the Thunderflies. I just love this airplane. It's a fun little airplane. It really looks pretty in these vintage liveries. It looks good in the military liveries too, but I don't know. Just really get to check out the lines in these nice vintage liveries. Our fuel. Okay, so that's there. So we're going to go to aux. And the coastal area is just beautiful. I'm glad they fixed the trees, or in the process of making sure that the trees are fixed, because it's nice to see them spread out a bit more. Ooh, we're getting bouncy. Nicely done. So we're settled in just fine at about 2,700 feet. With no apparent obstacles in the way. Yes, I-120, good to see you, dude. Hope you're well. Now, Blackheart has the right idea, flying low in the valley. This is a nice color combination. If I do say so myself. I hear them. There they are. The L19 is payware. It's available on Black Box Simulations website. There they go. 20. Bird Dog, it is €24.99 from the Black Box Simulation website. Available at that link. But I really like it. It comes with this model, it comes with a float plane, it comes with a bush version, and then once you get the vintage livery pack, it adds several more to each model. I really enjoy it. If you love the classic Cessnas, it's a must-have. It's nice to fly. You know, it's great for low and slow flying. I just thoroughly enjoy this little airplane. Nice. Okay, getting ready for a left turn. I'm sure we're darn near on the path we need to go anyway, so we may just keep her straight. There's Jepson. We're gonna straighten her out. We're about to the magenta line. Star Wolf, this is the Cessna L19 Bird Dog from Black Box Simulations. A must-have for classic Cessna lovers, which I happen to be one, so I had to get it. Highly modified from a 170B from Cessna. Turned into a 4-place side-by-side to a 2-place tandem. The whole greenhouse area was modified so that it would have high visibility and able to loiter around areas, used for observation and liaison during the, we'll say, early years of the Vietnam conflict, and is still widely popular today. It's bouncy over the mountains. Yeah. There's Flight Sergeant joining us. We're about to hit waypoint 2, so we're going to turn to the left. IK Drones. I wonder if it stands for I Know Drones. These aren't the drones that I'm looking for. There they are. Look at that. Nicely done. Whoa, what? What the crap was that? I didn't touch nothing. I touched nothing and it did that. Nothing kicked anything. I didn't touch anything. I'm blaming Asobo for this. Like, what in the world? The only thing that was touching any kind of flight control was my right hand very lightly on my stick, and I have a very stiff spring on it. And then all of a sudden, and it was the trim. Gremlins for sure. Like, now my engine just quit for no reason. Yeah, because it's just random. All of a sudden, oh, the reverse throttle button was engaged. Like, I'm not touching any of those buttons. Like, something fishy's going on. It's not cool, bro. Like, when we were flying around Interlagos, all of a sudden my flaps were down for some reason. I said very lightly. It's the only control surface controller I had touched. And I have noticed that from time to time my graphic settings are reset by like Gremlins or Magic or something. Things that I know I have set very specifically are suddenly reset for no explicable reason. This is why software like this should not be be so reliant on server stuff, because when they start messing around with stuff on the back end and it messes with our software, that's a problem. That makes me angry. That sort of thing should be separate from the live world, or be on a very separate testing world. Not on a live, publicly available, mainly used setting. That's not cool. Like, I can be just chilling here, flying, and all of a sudden, oh, no, it happened. Live on stream. All of a sudden, I'm going nosedive because something messed with the trim. And just nosedive. And then suddenly the reverser, the reverse throttle setting button got triggered. How? I don't know. I wasn't touching it. Yeah. Like, I won't change my settings. I have my settings set in a very particular way so that I can, you know, do things. Yeah, that's exactly what the Zendesk would say, because the Zendesk is about as useful as a screen door in a submarine. About as effective as a soup sandwich. That kind of crap bugs me a lot. Because it's like, stuff like that shouldn't be a thing. Oh well. Brazil's beautiful though. Yeah, no kidding. There's no explicable reason on anything of my doing, of my input, for my plane to do what it did. None. Don't hit the trees, Jepson. Mind the trees. He saved it. See, we didn't need to be at 4,500 feet. We're good. I don't know. Yes, well, it's a private airport and it doesn't list runways, so we'll just play it by ear. Parentheses and 27. See how it looks when we get there. Don't worry about it, because heck, I was just giving you a little bit of grief. Flight Sergeant zooming in. I wonder what Flight Sergeant's in. I'm not seeing it, which is unfortunate. You never know. You have a good one. 6 knots. Thanks for flying along or coming along or watching along. Much appreciated. You take care, and we'll see you next time. It's all good. I'm full of surprises, Zep. You don't know. Maybe I'll land perpendicular. Maybe I'll land on the water. Maybe I'll land on the other side of the river. And these hills and mountains are neat. Oh, they're doing their thing. I don't know what they're calling it, but I'm calling it the corkscrew. I could do that. I'm gonna land right now. Ooh, no, not the corkscrew. I'm not going to call that the corkscrew. I'm going to call it the forkscrew. Here the Thunderflies come doing the forkscrew. Rosen. Roger RC, Test Pilot 72, HCBR 110, Masonic Lake, Wombat 49, Steve Solo UK, along with Yardvark and Roger RC. Oh, nice. I still think that the roll rate's too fast. You know, you would think I'd be smart. I've had an issue with my right index finger for the last 3 weeks, where I went to bed, everything was fine. Woke up, something wrong with the knuckle on my right index finger, and thought, oh, that's weird. I probably just slept on it wrong. Yeah, it'll be fine. 3 weeks later, it's still doing it. It still hurts. Like, I can still use it just fine, but there's definitely something not right. But I think it's one of those things where, yeah, I'll just get used to it. At some point in time, I'm going to get desensitized from the pain, and it shall not bother me anymore. I won't even notice it. There's Flight Sergeant, Draco, Scorpio, Papa Joe B, Ached Barley. As Indiana Jones once said, it's not the years, it's the mileage. I'm more worried about that in my knees, though. My finger, I think there's just something... I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not that. It's not Uncle Arthur. But it's definitely, like I said, I went to bed, everything was fine. I woke up and it hurt. A logical person would say, well, you should go to the doctor and get it checked out. Me, I'm just, kind of like a weird lump on my right arm that I've had since, like, 2003. Still haven't done anything about it. Doesn't hurt, doesn't bother me, and most of the time I don't even notice it. Whee! They're so good. There's the Seminole with Papa Joe B. Or Papa Joe B with the Seminole. Like, the only thing of note with my fingers is I don't quite get the full range of motion. Like, I can-ish. I don't know. One of those weird pains that I'm just like, is what it is. I'll live with it. I don't feel like it's gonna kill me, so learn to live with it. Sounds like information in the joint tray. I've tried that and nothing helps. Superman has a crew selector inside the car. Ooh. Well, there's only one proper answer to that. The only way to do it proper is you have the World War II instructor. Kind of funny. I saw someone going on in, I don't know if it was the Flight Simulator forums or where it was, but going on about, oh, the Spitfire should, oh no, it must have been in the Flying Iron Discord. It might have been there. No, Facebook comments, even better. Someone going on about, oh, it should have, the modern civilian pilots model, blah, 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 and I'm just like, dude, they built it like a World War II version. They only added the radios because, well, it's helpful. It's better with the World War II pilot model. Like, come on. Of all the things to complain about, that's what they did. Someone decided to complain about. It's like, it's a World War II airplane. Dress the pilot up like a World War II pilot. I would. If I owned a Spitfire, I would dress up like I would dress up proper. Only adding the modern stuff where needed. Keep it authentic. And again, I'm weird, so you get used to it. Ooh, that's a lovely field. There's no being imagery there, but it's a lovely field. My lovely field. I don't get that reference. My Little Horse. Or My Lovely Horse, or whatever it was. I don't get it. Murph references it a lot. Still don't get it. that to feel. I would so have it. Yeah. If I had a Spitfire, I don't care even if I had a scale model or a scale version Spitfire that was flyable, I would have the full get-up. I would. Because that's how you do it. Like, I've had this plan for a while for reenacting. So, like, I want to put together a Marine pilot of an SPD Dauntless, because that would be cool. The problem is aviation reenacting is really hard, especially if you don't have a plane. Then you had to play, oh, I was picked up by ground units or something. You have to get creative. There's actually a place I cannot. It's Soldier of Fortune. They're based in the UK. They actually have all the stuff for like an RAF pilot, the head thing and everything. Yeah. The best part is once I can fit in my reenacting uniforms again, I want to go back to my local museum and just walk around. Because me and some of my reenacting friends, we did that. We actually helped open up our local museum. They had a 75th anniversary D-Day exhibit, and we helped open up for them. We're all paratroopers, and we stood in front of the C-47 that they have on display, and we talked to people about, the equipment, tactics, and this and that. And it's a great experience. So I'd love to be working with museums again. Going to head out for a dentist appointment. Ugh. Great stream, happy landings. You take it easy, Joey Bolo. Glad to have you along. Good luck at the dentist. Don't get too slappy on the gas they may or may not be giving you. But you take care, and we'll catch you next time. And Joey Bolo with the host. Many thanks, my dude. Okay, the camera just zoomed in. My hands are right here. I didn't touch anything. This is indeed the L-19 from Black Box Simulations. An aircraft I really enjoy flying. I did a... Ooh, nice. There's the road. There's Jepson and it's like Blackheart down there. Tiger Shark 74 with the follow. Many thanks, my dude. Hope you enjoy the flight, enjoy the content, and many thanks. So I believe Count Zap is already down. See, I'd love to do some more work with museums and stuff, especially air museums. Being a paratrooper reenactor, you know, just being able to, you know, even just working with them would just be fun. See, that's why I picked it. It's fun. It's bush flying. Without the mountain, well, there's still mountains. It's also why we're in slow planes. Yes. Real close to it now. WD-40, oh yeah. If it moves, and it shouldn't move, duct tape. If it doesn't move, and it should, WD-40. Yeah, I think all of us have had that kind of a moment tonight at one point or another. There's I had mine because the trim wheel I bumped. That time I bumped it when my flight when you know, when I nosedived it into the runway. That was on me. The stuff on this leg, not my fault. I didn't do it. Glad you enjoyed it, Viper. The instrument panel, that's just from the livery. This particular livery, it did not come with the airplane. This is a third-party livery pack, or part of a third-party livery pack, so it doesn't come with these skins. And a pair of channel locks as a hammer, yes. And a flathead screwdriver as a chisel. Using tools for what they're meant for. Alright, so we're getting close. Just over 2,000 feet. But yeah, so the stock liveries, the downside to the stock liveries is there's not a lot in the way of liveries for the float plane version and for the bush plane version. It's kind of a bummer. But as far as the stock liveries go for the standard version, there's quite a good selection. I like the vintage. I don't necessarily care for the instrument panel, and they haven't been updated as far as I can tell. The livery pack hasn't been updated in quite some time as far as I can tell. But overall, I like the vintage liveries. They look very nice. They're clean from the outside. There's a this one, there's a green one, and then there's a couple other ones, and it's a nice pack. It's just instrument panel. Yeah. Like I'm a sucker for classic. I'm a sucker for vintage airplanes in general, but the classic Cessnas, I just love them. Roger that. Runway 9er. We're going to start reducing throttle so as to reduce altitude. What's your altitude, bro? What's with your altitude, bro? So we'll drop down, we'll fly over, give it a look, see what we think, and go from there. Worst case scenario, we land on the highway. Footsies on the pedal Z's. Looks like Chilled Corky's going in for 2.7. At least it's paved. Chill Corky, get her stopped. Oh yeah. Well, now I just want to, do the challenging thing and take runway. I guess it doesn't really matter. See, I don't recall seeing a what's the word I want? Windsock. That's the word I wanted. So we'll give her another pass. Here's the windsock, and it's favoring runway 9. So we'll go around one more time, get in the pattern, and bring her down, bring her home. There's some tree clippage. We're still on 100, so we'll get one notch of flaps in. Second notch of flap in. Bit of flaps. Don't touch the trim wheel. Don't trust. Don't touch the trim. Throttle idle. Wasn't too bad, all things considered. Alright. Make sure cut off. Battery off. Off. And it's not going to count it as... Well, here's hoping. Drone speed. Bam. You have a good one, Chilled Corky. Glad to have you along. There's Scorpio doing a go around. There's Kozaki coming in. Yeah, I can see how that is. Draco in. Nicely done. Zeus going around. Maybe. Ached Barley. Flight Sergeant's in. There's Blackheart. There's Scorpio, Jepson. Goblin did land. As Grand Tiger Martin is here. There's a Thunderflies making it out just in time. Who is online? Nice. I hate those last second stutters. Ooh. There's Jepson. Can he get it down? Oh, noises from outside. Awesome. It's been about every weather that Michigan has to offer today, except for snow. It was cool, and then it was kind of not as warm, but cloudy and muggy. Then it rained and thunderstormed. Now it's sunshine. And probably a little warm. Trees are bad, yeah. It does make it interesting, though. So I feel like the Thunderflies won't try to make it into this one. This is a little tight. Little difficult even for them. They're good, but this is not a very big airfield. I mean, calling it an airfield is a bit of a stretch in a lot of ways. That's a tree. But as we keep an eye on the field, seeing if the Thunderflies will make an attempt, do thank you all for coming along, whether you just hung out in the chat, or lurked, flew along, or what have you. I do appreciate all of you, all the new likes, the gift subscriptions, the regular subscriptions. It all means the world to me. I'm very grateful for it. So, as we move forward, keep an eye on the Discord for updates and news schedule, or news schedules? Stream schedules. Ooh, here they come. You know, keep an eye on Discord for those. And it's also where we hang out. Oh, they're not going to land. But it's where we hang out between streams. So, until next time, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. Stay tuned for the raid. Catch you next time.